Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography is an Art, Harvey Brandman, master photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard, Burbank, California. Attorney Ron Irwin's book, Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. Author Larry Buford's book, To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Roll it, Tony.
And action.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm 14 years old.
My name is Jade.
I'm Andy. I'm 23 years old.
My name is Mariah.
Hi, my name is Felicity. I'm 18 years old.
My name is Nandi.
My name's Anthony.
I'm Bella. I'm 17 and I've dealt with depression,
anxiety,
low self-esteem,
finding myself,
bullying,
PTSD,
denial,
rape,
suicidal thoughts, and depression. Basically my whole life.
What's on your mind right now as you say that?
I don't have the right to be saying these kind of things. Just power through it.
With everything that's going on in the world today, all the headlines, we're at this point where we need to do something about it. I'm Adrienne, I'm 26 years old, and I've dealt with cyberbullying. We're here today to wipe the slate clean on the mental health stigma. Mental health is not all black and white, and it's up to us to start this conversation and change the conversation.
Okay, Ron.
Are you on the video?
Yep, it's already done.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will be talking about a silent and deadly disease that causes pain to an endless number of people around the globe. It's called mental health. Now, you just saw a clip of the docu-series called The Shift. We have with us three of the members responsible for this marvelous, informative, and outstanding production. Let me introduce you to Mary Albertoli. She's the co-creator and the executive producer. Nadia Sarmova, co-creator and producer. And Sean Freeland, he's a co-producer. Let's start with Mary. Mary, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure, Ron. Yeah, I actually am a former social worker. I practiced for about 12 years after graduating from Columbia University. And I worked mainly in the clinical track with family and children's, and I would help in hospital settings as well as outpatient, understand exactly what was happening in the home and the family of the child. Many of the teenagers and children came in because they were saying they wanted to hurt themselves or others. So we had to do a diagnosis, set up a plan, a discharge plan to get them in treatment. And I'd work with the families and the kids while they were in treatment.
Quite a background. I understand you worked in both individual and group settings with depression, PTSD, and suicidal and homicidal. You've been around.
That is correct, Ron.
Okay. Nadia, co-corrector producer, please tell us about you, what you do.
Of course. Thank you for having us. So my name is Nadia, and I have spent now almost a decade and a half as an entertainment industry professional. Started back in the mid 2000s and have worked my way up in various aspects in pre-production, production, and distribution of feature films and TV series. And today I run a production company called Beeman Studios, and we focus on creating impactainment, so entertainment that enlightens, entertains, empowers, and inspires people to take action around a variety of social causes. And it's a privilege and an honor to be a co-creator and producer on the show.
A busy lady, my dear. You're a busy lady. Done a lot of stuff. Sean Freeland, co-producer. Sean, what have you done over these days? You're an actor. That's one thing.
Right. Hey, Ron. How are you? Yeah, I'm an actor, writer, and producer. I've been on shows like Ozark, The Walking Dead, Nashville. So some well-known shows. I'm going to be in a movie called Electric Jesus that'll hopefully be coming out at the end of this year, depending on pandemic stuff. So, I met these ladies, and we'll get into more of that story in a little bit, but I loved what they were doing with their trying to change the stigma around mental health. And I wanted to be a part of helping out any way I could as soon as I met them. So, and I got to say, I love that you got Isaac Hayes in your background there.
Oh yeah, gotta have it.
What a voice! What a voice!
I see you were born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I was, yes, indeed, yes. Love Pittsburgh. I would say go football team, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to, right? With
just did.
Yeah,
you just did. It's gone and gone.
Love Pittsburgh, great town.
Indeed. This is a very serious business that we're talking about here. Mary, let's start with you. And can you please, first of all, define what is mental health? I mean, I did some research and you find there's so many diseases within disease. Please tell us, what is mental health?
Well, that's somewhat of a complex question, Ron, to be honest with you. I mean, mental health is what our thinking, the conversations we have about ourselves, about others, the world, the impact of that on us and others, our coping mechanisms, our strategies, our support systems. There's a whole host of the disorders that are diagnosed, what we make them mean. There's so much to this conversation about mental health. And I just know that our country has put this on the back burner for so long, in terms of our focus. And I've been watching a decline over the years as a social worker, especially in the young adult and teenage population, that I wanted and I was compelled to do something.
When people hear about the word mental health, what's normally their reaction? Mary?
Well, in terms of their reaction, I can't speak for other people. I know that people have shared, they hear, I'm mentally ill, I'm crazy, there's something wrong with me, this is a forever thing, no one will get me, I'll never be understood. And those are the conversations that we're out to dispel and create a new conversation around.
Okay. The question is, does mental health only go to certain individuals, certain groups, certain ethnic groups, or anything of that nature, or is it everybody?
It's everyone, Ron. It's everyone. It is part of who we are in the world, in our society, how we relate, how we connect, how we see each other. There's so much to that, like I said before, but all of us are open to mental health issues and suffering. And, that needs to be able to discuss freely, openly, and generously among others. We sit in silence way too long with our pain, and it ends up coming out in ways that are destructive to ourselves and others when it didn't have to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nadia, in your position, from what you've seen and know about this business, daily problems, can they affect persons? Obviously, they affect people. There's so many things on you as a human being. You got pressure, you got your parents, you got this, you got that, and now we got this little thing called COVID-19. So there's so many things on you. The question is, when you see these problems, what comes in your mind?
Such a great question. What comes to mind is how can we really have a newfound conversation around the topic of mental health so that we get into action around resolving issues that all of us deal with, whether we're in the entertainment industry or we're not. How can we start addressing such that mental health takes on the same precedence and importance in our lives as our physical health? And that's really what we're out to create with the shift.
Is there a special way one would get it? Is it at birth or does it come later in life?
In terms of mental health struggles?
Yes.
I'm not a mental health professional, so I don't really feel equipped to answer that question. if I had to answer it just based on, what I do know, I would say that both are relevant. Some people are, do have some mental health issues that come early on in their life, and others develop them as they age. So I would say both are equally relevant.
Okay. Mary, let me ask you the same question.
Sure. Yeah, there are some disorders, Ron, that come later in life. Like the onset of schizophrenia, for example, may come when someone is 21. There may be ones such as bipolar, which you might not be able to see so clearly in a child, but much more so in an adolescent. So there are timings to certain onsets. However, looking for the signs and understanding the signs and knowing how to have those conversations when you see them, that is the biggest thing that we're out to really explore and empower people around.
We got homeless problems out here today, all across LA, all across the country. How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with that? Well, I mean, some I think people do have mental health issues. Many of them do, and they've been untreated. I know there was a big influx of homeless when they stopped long-term care hospitalization for people who are mentally ill. When they did away with that, a lot were released into the streets. And I think that not taking care of the mental health of people can definitely affect whether or not they're out, homeless or being able to take care of themselves in all capacities.
I see people, you see it all the time, people talking to themselves, walking down the street, just talking. And you just look at them sometimes and you say, God, what can I do for that person? How can I help him? What do you say?
Well, I mean, certainly you would have to have a relative or a family member that you could contact with that person. If you see them on the street and they're endangering themselves or others, certainly you want to call someone to, I don't know about maybe the police. I don't know. I really don't know. You want to really find out how you can get them to a safer setting if they're endangering themselves or others. These are, once again, conversations that we're going to find out more about on the shift.
The Shift. I like that name. How'd you get that name?
Actually, the Shift came from Maureen Eisern, our other co-creator and producer. And she had envisioned this bus. And the shift is a conversation that we're really trying to go from this disempowering context to an empowering context in regards to feeling free and open around discussing mental health and our feelings and our thoughts around that. So she felt it was a shift, and a shift in the conversation from that side to the other.
Ron, can I add a little bit to that?
Please. Yeah.
So, change oftentimes happens in increments. And so the idea that shifting a degree can actually change a life is where in some of our internal brainstorming sessions, our other producer and co-creator, Maureen Eisern, she speaks to that, that's where the vision for the shift came from.
Having members of your family, we've all had experiences with mental health sometimes. Sometimes I tease myself, I say, God, as I get a little bit older, there's dementia knocking at my door. It's going to happen. Some things are just going to happen, right?
Well, there's certain genetic things that, we can look at to see whether or not if that's in our likelihood. I know both my parents towards the end of their life suffer with some dementia. And, that's treatable as well. That's certainly treatable. So.
Tell us now, you've had a lot of it as an MSW, which a lot of people don't understand what an MSW, Master in Social Work.
Correct.
You work with a lot of people. And how did you choose that field to get into?
Yeah. So I guess I felt when I was younger that there was a sense of responsibility and a calling almost to really want to help people alleviate their own suffering. And then I found as I took this journey down social work, and now I'm no longer a social worker, as you know, it's helped me really come to peace with my own mental health. It's allowed me to free myself of some of the conversations that I told myself in the past that left me in suffering. So this journey has really enabled me and others to feel like their life is worth living.
Yes.
That they can experience joy and feel good about themselves.
Let's talk to Sean for just a moment. Sean, you're in the middle of this mix, like the other two ladies. What does mental health mean to you, and being around it now? I mean, you're an actor. You've done some magnificent work, but what does this mental health mean to you now?
Yeah,
this project.
Yeah, it's a weird time, right? Like evolution and technology and everything is great, and I'm glad we have it. But it's definitely, as it grows, it definitely was putting more pressure on everyone, right? Like back when we're just hunters and gatherers, and all we cared about was food and keeping the species alive. I'm sure they had a lot less mental things to deal with than we do now, with especially in the area of social media, and then like you said, COVID and everything. So it's just a hard time. You know, in general, I'm a pretty happy guy. I have great parents. They're both still alive and they're always supportive. I had some health issues when I was a kid. So, you know, I wouldn't say I suffered from depression, but, you know, we all get depressed like all the time, even now, like every day at some point in the day, even though my life is great and there's not much wrong with it, you know, there's, you know, I'll have an hour where I'm down about something. So, and I'm in a good place and I go there a lot. So, yeah, there's just a lot of pressure in the world, and it's the perfect time for a show like The Shift. Any time's good, but it's a perfect time now. It was perfect before COVID, and COVID's even adding to that. But we're just so disconnected now, and socially, like it's, you know, it's so strange how texting has really just overtaken even phone calls, which is so much more personal than a text, which phone calls have overtaken personal interactions. So people are forgetting how to talk. And so something that was already looked at as something you shouldn't do, talk about your feelings, is getting pushed back even further. You know, luckily in the last few months in general, or the last year or so, it's people are starting to talk about it more in general, which is another good reason why The Shift is perfect now, because we won't be fighting people on it. We're getting people like yourself who are like, this is great, like this needs to happen. So
what are you getting out of being a member of The Shift? This program?
I get to work with some lovely people. These ladies are great, and they care about what they're doing tremendously, which is, you know, passion is so important with any project. And you can always tell when someone's just doing it to do it, or when someone's passionate about it. And I've seen the reactions. Like I wasn't there yet. I wasn't involved with the promo video, but when they showed me the promo video, I was already kind of like, oh, I want to help with this. And I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm in. But we've been doing some IG lives and stuff, and people we've been interviewing and talking about their situations to see how much they appreciate it, getting to talk about what they went through in their depression, and how they just want to share that so that other people know that it's okay, and how good it feels to get stuff off your chest. That's been the most beneficial, rewarding thing to me so far. So,
as an actor, are you able to use your skills as an actor when you're talking to people?
I'm behind the scenes mostly on this, so I don't have to do too much talking. I don't know. Right now I am, so hopefully I'm not acting. I'm being honest, but hopefully it's coming off okay.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But yeah, and speaking of acting, like it's like I love our business. It's an amazing business. I can't imagine doing anything else. But it's also a horrible business. Like you know, it's so much rejection and hard work and feeling like you don't get anywhere. Like it adds a whole nother layer. Like our industry is full of mental people who are dealing with the mental side of things. So another very at-risk group, because it's hard when you do 100 auditions a year and you hear back from like 2 of them, you know, so.
So you know what it's like being turned aside. You have no problems with that.
Oh yeah, totally. You gotta learn to like send an audition in and be happy with the audition, and that has to be the pinnacle of like you have to be happy with that, and then just write it off. And then when you get the call that you get hired, that's just a bonus. Because if you sit there and worry about if you're going to get the job every time you send one in, it would totally drive you crazy.
Okay, Mary, again, you got how many? Tell us about how many people you got in your group right now.
So we have aside from the three of us, we have Kitty Overton, and we have Maureen Isern, and we have Shaggy Sims, who's part of our group.
Okay.
We also have Adrian Finch,
Right.
Ron, who is ill at the moment.
Yes.
But we love you, Adrian, sending you well wishes. And then we do have, a few other people that are contributing to the team effort. This is such a team effort that each person is playing a truly invaluable part in us helping to gas this bus.
In what city are you putting this program together, this series in?
Yeah, so we're mostly based out of Los Angeles, and so our hub is in LA.
You get a chance to meet a lot of people in this business, especially in this subject area. A lot of people. Okay. The development of this program, explain from the beginning to where you're at right now. Can you tell us about that?
The development of the shift. Mary, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. Yeah, so I'd been thinking about the concept for a couple of years prior to actually bringing it to Maureen Isern, who I met in a leadership program we both took on. And she was very excited, being a social impact content producer for many years, and with Moped Productions. She and I joined forces, and very soon after that, Nadia came on board. And Nadia, do you want to go from there?
Got you. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, it was really a match made in heaven to meet Mary and Maureen. Maureen and I have similar backgrounds in that we both consider ourselves social impact producers. My background is mostly in the long form feature films and TV, and Maureen's background is more in short form social impact. And so when we joined forces, it was a really easy and beautiful collaboration. And we've now been in development for a little over a year, and we're able to shoot a promo, which was really a proof of concept. Mary had this brilliant idea and this sense that young people needed an opportunity to open up and share and let out whatever issues they were dealing with on an emotional and mental level. But we really weren't 100% sure if they would open up on camera. And so when we invited a few young people that you have seen in the promo, when we invited them to the studio, we were hopeful and optimistic, but we really weren't sure if they would open up. And so what came out of that one day in the studio was that these young people were eager to open up and share. They were delighted to hear that they weren't the only ones having these experiences. And as a whole, the crew and the cast all together were pleasantly surprised that Mary's gut instinct to create a platform where young people could come and open up and share and have access to each other, but also to resources that could help them with their mental health struggles. That was everybody felt it. Everybody was moved. And at the end of the shoot, we knew that we needed to take this, mainstream. And so that's really where we are today.
Sounds great. We got to take a commercial break. Sean, Nadia, Mary, we'll be back to see more about what you got going on this project. Okay? This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. It's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on the Actor's Choice. Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. The book was inspired by the author's first exposure to haiku well over a half-century ago. His experience produced within him a deep passion to experience Asia, which he later did as a U.S. Marine. The book is available in paperback at lulu.com. And Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. This is a book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback, only $17.95 from Amazon. So please get your copy today. And now, a word from State Farm agent Carla Green. Roll it.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Okay, Ron.
Thanks, Carla. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For more information, call 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Ladies and gentlemen, NGL Collective proudly presents Hispanicize Unos Today Virtual Summit. Now, the event is scheduled for this coming Wednesday, July 1st, starting at 9 a.m. Admission is free. This will be the largest virtual gathering of Latin influencers, content creators, entrepreneurs, media and entertainment innovators aimed at being a force for good in the Latin community. Guests include Fat Joe, John Leguizamo, Louise Gassman, legendary civil rights activist Dolores Urata, and many, many others. So for more information, please visit www.hispanicize.com. That's www.hispanicize.com. Thank you. And finally, if you want to have a product or a service or upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable, and we thank you. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it.
And no one really noticed it. I've been struggling with depression for years. I was failing, I was partying, I was drinking a lot. I wasn't talking about my issues, I was in denial.
My dad told me he was disappointed in me and he basically did not believe in what I was trying to do with my life. That was like a breaking point for me. I ended up on a bridge, literally one leg over the rail. Right before I lifted my other leg up, I started bawling my eyes out and I just kept saying, I don't want to die.
We're back, Ron.
Okay. Welcome back. We've got a great group today talking about a promo and a problem of mental health. Let's start back with Nadia. Nadia, would you please tell us about the current status of this docu-series that you're talking about?
Be happy to. So the current status is with The Shift is that due to the COVID pandemic that we've entirely shifted, pun intended, to producing some content digitally such that it is really in line with our commitment. And Ron, for you and for everyone watching, our commitment as producers and of The Shift is to really be a contribution to young people, families, and communities around their mental health. And right now with the pandemic and the anxiety and disconnect that Sean alluded to earlier, these these conversations around mental health and access to resources is what is most needed. So until we can resume production safely, we exist entirely on digital, and we are giving audience members access to the Shift conversations and resources through social media and our website.
like you say, putting on a production, it starts with an idea. Everything starts with an idea, one of my favorite words. And from there, you see things start to grow. Can you tell us about when you guys get together as a group and start talking about what we're going to go, what direction we're going to go? As we just saw more of the promo, we saw how someone is sitting there talking to these young people, extracting information from them. This is great. What are you doing this as usage for feedback?
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating the question?
Okay, we just saw you and saw you someone speaking in a session with some young people, and this is good. This is how you extract that information from them. What do you do with this extraction? Because you're going to be talking to a lot of people in the future from now on. You guys are planning to do this for a long time, I take it.
Yes. So, from the get-go, we have understood that mental health is a sensitive topic and that we could be opening up a can of worms, and we will be. And so we wanted to be prepared and do it in a responsible manner. And so, every time we have these conversations with young people, just as during the promo and ongoingly, we have a mental health provider have a follow-up with them, such that, when the cameras are not rolling, we make sure that their mental health is taken care of. We want to make sure that young people, really no one for that matter, is triggered and then left in a state of emotional or mental disturbance. We want them to feel safe, to be protected, and to have access to resources should they need follow-up. So that is a built-in safety net that we have currently with all of our digital programming, and will be in place as well during production of the series.
Okay, now here comes the question. Where do you get these young people from?
I mean, there's no shortage of young people.
No, there's
so many. This is what was so interesting to us. And, I'd love for Sean to chime in here as well, because he is on a weekly basis in conversation with many young people that we are currently featuring on our IG Live conversation series called Shift Starter. In light of everything that's happening with COVID and the pandemic, it is only exacerbating how much more we need to be having these conversations around mental health. So young people are knowing that they are in good, safe hands, and that we are tackling these conversations responsibly. They are eager to come talk to us. So it really isn't it has not been a difficult process at all. We've also are in partnership with nonprofit organizations in the space of mental health. Some of our partners, including Rise Above the Disorder, Vibrant, and the Crisis Text Line, and as well as University of Southern California, USC's Media Institute for Social Change. So in partnership with all of these organizations, we're also having access to a plethora of young individuals.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
Sean,
I think.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, she said what I was going to say, but you'd think it'd be hard to find people, especially younger people, who want to talk about their mental issues on camera, and it's surprisingly not. Everyone that we approach so far has wanted to do it because they feel like it will be helpful to their peers. So they don't see it as, oh my God, I'm going to look like a weak person coming on and talking about this stuff. They see it as an empowered feeling that, hey, if I can help one other person not feel like I've felt in the past, then I want to do this. So it's been very easy, actually. Makes our jobs easier.
Mary, once the promo, what's the status of the promo? Is it completed or is it almost completed? What's the situation?
So the promo we completed. We're going to be working on a pilot, I guess, at some point. We were going to plan on doing a pilot with USC in partnership, as Nadia had mentioned.
Right.
However, due to the pandemic, that's kind of put things in a different situation. So everything will be done online. If we do a pilot, it will be done online at this point. I know we're thinking about some Zoom episodes where we can have several young adults. And we're also thinking about, we want to make sure they're set up safely and protected and given the resources they need to carry information on into their families and their communities.
Okay. Now, as I read more about the concept of the shift, I noticed one of the things that you're going to be doing is taking a refurbished school bus that's going to travel cross country to talk to people and discuss mental health. Can you talk about that, please? That sounds great.
Sure. So the idea for the school bus really originated from our commitment to provide young people with a safe space. Okay. And when you think about, we all went to school in our earlier days, and likely we all rode school buses. I know I did. And so the school bus was a place where I felt comfortable and safe oftentimes to speak to my fellow friends about what was happening in my life. And so we thought, what a wonderful opportunity to provide this safe space for young people on a school bus that would also allow us to make this a traveling show, such that it would allow for the shift to bring resources and to start these conversations around the entire country. As Mary pointed out earlier, there is no demographic, socioeconomic demographic, racial demographic, gender that does not experience mental health struggles. And we are committed to really providing young people, their families and communities around the entire United States with mental health resources. And ultimately, we're really out to create mental well-being for all.
When this event really gets started, are you planning on taking it to a big theater and letting people sit down with it and look at it, the parents and people like that?
So our vision is once production is safe for us to pursue, we are wanting for the Shift school bus to roll into communities and we'll either park in front of a high school or university, or who knows, a YMCA, just a town hall, city center, anywhere where a large number of young people and communities come together is really, the basic setting that we're looking to create for the Shift, such that the conversation can first be had in an intimate setting inside of the school bus, and then those young people can then go get off the bus and go out into the world to try on new modalities that they can take on to deal with their mental health struggle. We also have, we're in development on bringing celebrities, one that can bring some levity to the conversation as well, because we really want this to be a series that is not only a long-term and successful ongoing multiple season series, but also one that young people are looking forward to engage in and consume on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was going to say the goal is production, right? Is to get a show produced, Ron, so that we'll have the intimacy of the bus, but then we can reach kids all over the country and all over the world if we're on streaming or on network too. So they have some form of connection to it.
Now, Mary, you understand you are going to be providing solid strategies on how to start the conversation on mental health between parents and children. Is that correct?
Well, actually, Adrian Finch is our current host and moderator.
Okay.
I'm more or less right now serving as the mental health expert on the team. And I know we're going to have more people join in. We have some other people like Nadia mentioned, Rise Above the Disorder, as well as the crisis text line and suicide prevention hotline. We have other mental experts in our partnerships, however, but I don't know if on the show I'm going to be yet. That's something that needs to be discussed further, I think.
please invite me to the show when you first do it. I would like to see it because, as you know, we're in Los Angeles and there's so many people here in need of the work that you are doing. God, I don't have to tell you that. You know that. There's a lot of fresh, as we call it, fresh meat out here. A lot of things that need to be done. Definitely.
Well, Ron, it'd be an honor to have you there.
I've been honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know I'm a teacher at a local school, a lot of local college here in town, and I see the students all the time. They come to school with so many problems which affect, obviously, the education they're trying to get. Is that?
Of course, that certainly can. I mean, mental health and, when anyone's in pain or suffering from a mental health issue, it certainly gets in the way of what it is they're out to create in their life. It can really become a deterrent. And it is through the freedom of conversation and the permission that we can grant ourselves and others to
Okay.
Ron, while
release the stigma.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Nothing like a little electronic there. We lost you for about a moment there, Mary. Anyway, the idea is, okay, I hear the word series. I understand the word docu. Define the docu series for the way you guys intend to work it. Will this be?
Ron, you cut out a bit, but I think the question is how are we envisioning this series?
Yes, ma'am. Are you going to have different shows in different places, different times? You're going to be shooting constantly.
Right. So as a traveling series does in itself have some additional logistics that need to be coordinated. And so, we really are envisioning for the first season of The Shift to take place in multiple cities throughout the United States. Our hope is to launch. The first episode will be filmed here in Los Angeles.
Yay!
And then the Shift bus will pull out of LA and really start its trajectory to other communities throughout the United States. The vision is to have each episode around a particular mental health issue. So, for example, one episode could be about eating disorders. The other episode may address depression, human trafficking, anxiety and social media. And so we have, an entire 12-part episode already outlined for season 1 and even more for season 2 and moving forward. So it's really, an opportunity for The Shift is an opportunity that we are bringing to communities throughout the United States in hopes of empowering young people to transform the conversation around mental health.
Got you. I'm just thinking so many things that I want. Once you get growing, this is going to be nice. You're going to get people to come and see you. How can they get in touch with you? Do you have a telephone number yet, or an email, a website, anything like that they can get this information?
Absolutely. So right now, we welcome all interested parties to reach out. We can be found on our website at shifttheshow.com and on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, we are at @the_shift_series. And on Facebook, we are at Shift the Show Official.
Sounds like you are ready. I can't wait. Sean, is there anything else you want to add to what you've said already?
I think we covered a lot of it. I will tell a funny story how I did first meet these guys, though. We always got to throw this in.
All it is, go for it. Go for it.
Me and Maureen were at a Florida State alumni gathering, one of those things that you never go to. And both of us talked about it. We had considered not going to this one, but we both figured, what the heck. So we met there and hit it off, and she told me about some of the projects she was working on. And then she was also mentioned that this other girl that she was working with also went to Florida State, who would be Nadia. So there's 3 Florida State people on the team, even though none of us knew that when we got together, when it started. So, so Florida State, our alma mater, pulled us in together. So I always like telling that story. Yep, exactly. And we still love the mental health of Gator fans too. We want everyone to be happy. So even those Gators. So.
Sean, thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and Godspeed in what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Nadia, just want to say one quick thing to you before we leave. We're running out of time. It's been an honor being with you, madam. Can you tell us any final words you have?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you. Thank you for your time. I think that we are at a point as a country and as a world that we are ready to have this conversation. And the key to the shift is really quite simple. We're really here to create space, to demonstrate that by creating space and by bringing language to our emotions, anything and everything can be resolved in conversations and community. And so that's really what we're here to create and to give to young people, such that they are empowered, as they are empowered on our streets right now, that they are empowered to really take hold of and take charge of their mental well-being.
Mary, any final words from you, ma'am?
Yeah, to echo both Sean and Nadia, I mean, really, to leave the message that no one out there is alone, that we have each other, and it's in the opening up the conversations that are really authentic and real, and being generous in our listening of each other, that we're able to really make that shift and create a community that really supports each other in a way that is new to us. And that's what we're out to explore on the shift. And thank you, Ron. You're a lovely gentleman. It was so nice to meet you.
Same here. We'll see each other again. We want to show just another clip of the shift before we get out of here. Go ahead and roll that, would you, Tony?
And I'm feeling optimistic.
I let it out and I feel healthy, seen.
I feel free. I think I'm shaking.
Let's open up about bullying.
Let's speak up about coming out.
About feeling lost.
About depression.
Body image issues.
Personal identity.
We spent one day here. Imagine what an entire movement can do. We can change lives. We can save lives. Join me. Join us. And let's shift the conversation around mental health.
Okay, Ron.
Okay, well, again, thanks to Mary Albertoli, Nadia Sarmova, and Sean Freeland. Thank you all for coming out today. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. And much, much thanks to our special guest today, Mary Albertina, creator and executive producer, Nadia Sarmova, co-creator and co-producer, Sean Flinch. Again, thanks, of course, special thanks go out to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We will see you next time.